Happy Saturday, Overwatch fans. We are live in Los Angeles for week 2 of the 2019 Overwatch League season. Our teams are starting to make their way into the Blizzard Arena. We have the hometown LA Gladiators, who will be kicking off our day as they look to find some momentum after a big win over the San Francisco Shock last weekend. They'll face off against one of our 8 expansion teams today. The Paris Eternal looked impressive in their only match so far, and Paris wants to prove that their Week 1 win over the 2018 champion, London Spitfire, was no fluke. Fans are starting to make their way in for another exciting day of professional Overwatch here on the Blizzard Arena stage. And welcome back, everybody. I'm back in action. This is a Watchpoint pre-show. I'm your host, Puckett, and I've got the great crew as always. You know them, you love them. We've got Zoe, we've got Brenji back in America, and today, Professor Hex is on the desk. But we got to start with Bren, because Bren, It's only 10 a.m. and that is your second outfit, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, I accidentally punched a coffee all over me. So this is, yeah. It's
someone else's coffee, nonetheless.
Hasn't been a fantastic start to the day.
Not even noon. Bren's on his second set of clothes. We'll get into that more. But for anyone who's been stuck behind a Maywall for the last 24 hours, you missed the biggest story of the year so far. The Shanghai Dragons got their first ever win last night. They did it against the Boston Uprising. And guys, the Dragons entered with an all-time record of 0-42, and it was an especially special win here for Gamsu, who led Shanghai against his former team just a week ago.
Axiom, top of the primal range, but it does not matter! Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made! The Shanghai Dragons, on the 43rd attempt out, managed to pick up their first match victory!
너무 좋고요. 연패에 부담이 많았는데 같이 이긴 저희 팀원들한테 진짜 너무 감사합니다.
And Gamsu defeating his old team tonight feels like a really emotional moment here.
일단 첫 승을 했기 때문에 다들 분위기가 이제 올라와서 연습도 잘 될 것 같고 특히 제 전 팀인 보스턴 상대로 이겨서 너무 기뻐요.
그때요? 솔직히 울어서 좀 뭔가 벅차오르고 팬들이 한호 지를 때 진짜 너무 감동이었어요.
All the Shanghai fans out there, fans in tears, they finally did it.
진짜 너무 믿고 계속 응원해 주셔서 감사하다고 전해드리고 싶어요. 계속 더 발전될 거예요.
Talking about making them regret it, Gamsu was so impressive against his former team last night. He led the Uprising's main tank Axiom in most major categories. So, Bren, let's start with you, man. You predicted it wrong 28 times last year, but you got it right here in 2019. You feel you deserved all the props you've been getting on Twitter?
Of course, yeah. You know, my Twitter's been blowing up. I got the entire Shanghai Dragons fan base. This is pretty much all of the Overwatch League behind my back there. I'm genuinely, though, I'm so happy that they finally got the win. Even more happy as well for Gamsu as well, you know? Bit of vindication for him, bit of a revenge story, you know? He beat his old team.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You keep predicting them, eventually you're going to be right. But I'm really happy for this team because I'm glad that they're not going to have kind of the holdover. It's a new roster, right? But there was still going to be pressure on this team to finally get a win. And now that that mental burden has been removed, I think the potential has been unlocked.
The Dragons have done it. We have so much to cover on today's pre-show. A little bit later, we'll take a look at the Vancouver Titans and how their rich history on the Korean Overwatch scene could spell success here in the Overwatch League. Plus, Carpe responds to some spicy trash talk from the Dallas Fuel. And as we start to wrap up Week 2, several teams are already looking to sell off some valuable pieces of their squads. We've got a solid 4 matches for you today. Once again, the Gladiators battle against Paris. Anyone excited for that one? We got Philly going up against the Dallas Fuel. The Chengdu Hunters take on the Florida Mayhem to close out the day. And 2 of the most exciting teams in the league square off in our 3rd match. The Vancouver Titans rolled past Shanghai in their league debut. And the Titans' experienced roster squares off with an aggressive Guangzhou Charge squad who earned a shutout victory of their own against Dallas on Thursday. Bren, let's start here. What makes this Vancouver squad so well coordinated? Because these guys are all on the same page.
Yep, they really are. This is honestly probably one of the most coordinated teams in the Overwatch League right now. Big part of this is because they've got a trio of players that have been together since the beginning. 2016, you've got Stitch, Bumper, and Haskell. Haxile, I should say. These guys, honestly, once you have a core like this, I think this is the longest standing core currently in the Overwatch League. And it is just insane how much that actually gives you an advantage in terms of the chemistry, you know, your teammates' tendencies, their play styles, gives you an amazing head up when it comes to playing this triple tank, triple support play style, which relies so much on your teammates more so than any other meta.
The Titans are looking absolutely ferocious right now. But so let's talk about the Charge, because we've now seen them through 2 matches, and they've shown some versatility. Do they have enough versatility, though, to keep up with the Vancouver Titans?
I mean, that is left to be seen. We've only, as you said, saw them in 2 different matches so far. And the first one was against the Chengdu Hunters, and that was just chaotic. They were everywhere. There's a lot of different heroes being used, a lot of different compositions being placed, and they were hyper-aggressive. I can't stress this enough, how aggressive this team looked like. They just ran straight into a wall and everything available to run into, honestly. However, in their second match, they looked a lot more composed. They were able to show us more triple tank, triple support, and a lot more passive play styles as well. So it's left to see how they're going to match up against the Titans.
You have to have a couple different styles to be able to be successful in the Overwatch League. 3-3 is all good. You run a bunch of different stuff. But what really enables this Charge team is that they've got a tank that is a triple threat. He plays every different main tank in the league, so you're not going to be able to predict what strategy they're going to run. Runs Hammond well, runs Ryan well, runs Winston well. No other main tank in the league really has shown the capability to do all three, so you don't know what they're going to run based on the players that they're putting in. Rio has been amazing for this squad, and I expect him to continue playing that well.
So well-rounded, pun intended there, Wrecking Ball. All right, from two expansion teams to two teams that faced each other 4 times last season, the Philadelphia Fusion sat atop the league standings after week 1, but looked a little bit shaky in that loss to Florida Mayhem on Thursday. On the other side, the Dallas Fuel have looked beatable in their 2 losses as well, but very strong in the lone win over the Seoul Dynasty. So, Zoe, why are you so optimistic about a 1-2 Fuel right now?
Because they look completely different. They were very focused on counter picks. They were a lot less stubborn to make those switches. And there were a lot of great examples which we saw from them in their match against the Seoul Dynasty, excuse me. Mostly so on King's Row. I was really impressed. They came out of the gates. They saw that Seoul went for a more stall kind of composition. And they made immediate switches onto that Orisa and onto the Roadhog, going for that hook and halt combo. And it worked out just fine for them. So they were really quick on their feet. And that's what I want to see from Dallas Fuel.
I'm going to bring Dallas a little bit down to earth now as well with that one.
You.
So they have struggled, though, realistically, with very aggressive teams. They got a loss against the San Francisco Shock when they brought the fight to them. They got a loss against the Guangzhou Charge when they played hyper-aggressive. And is there a more aggressive team in this league than the Philadelphia Fusion? I don't think so. These guys like to play aggressive Overwatch, and it's the antithesis of what Dallas like to play. So they have struggled time and time again. This is an issue for me. I feel like Dallas, they need to work on their coordination when they get initiated on, something that they've been struggling with. We'll see how they do in this series today.
Now, Hex, for the Fusion, when you got a guy like Carpe, every game is winnable. But what scared you or what has you nervous for the Fusion after they lost to Florida?
I'm a little bit concerned about the health of their back line. Neptuno has been experiencing some injuries. He's gutted it out because he's one of the toughest nails guy in the league. But they have Elk coming in for Boombox. Now, Elk is not necessarily known as a flex support, and they struggled a little bit. He wasn't getting the giant Boombox volleys across the map, the early picks, the early aggression. So if Boombox is still unable to play and Elk has to fill that role, it's even a question of, do you put Neptuno on a flex support? Make Elk go in there on a role he's more comfortable with. You see the drop off here. Boombox does more damage. He does more healing. Overall better. Look, it's not Elk's fault. He was thrust into a position that he was not prepared to play for. But now at a certain point, you have to think the backline is just not getting healthy for Philadelphia.
Contenders player playing a main role on the main stage. It's going to be tough. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the trash talk going down because as you might have heard, the Dallas Fuel assistant coach Jane has been expressing all kinds of opinions over the caliber of play so far. On his stream, Jane called out both London and Philadelphia, calling their 3-3 play trash. We sat down with Philadelphia Fusion's Carpe to get his thoughts on Jane's hot take.
제인 코치가 그 얘기를 한 클립을 이제 트위치에서 봤는데 트윗을 보긴 했는데 제 생각은 똑같아요. 저희가 처음에 들었을 땐 좀 기분도 나빴고 그리고 저희는 고츠 조합이 별로 나쁘지 않다고 생각해요. 저희 트래시 고츠한테 질 준비하면 될 것 같아요.
Philadelphia Fusion starts off with a bang and with a big fat W.
제가 생각하기에는 그쪽도 그렇게 잘하는 것 같진 않아요. 이번에 제가 달라스 퓨어를 상대로 이기게 된다면 그냥 그 상황이 너무 재밌을 것 같아요, 저한테.
Carpe looking for some giggles. The team that beat Carpe and the Fusion the other night are hoping that that win is just the beginning. We'll tell you whether Florida is poised for a win streak next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. In just about 20 minutes, the Los Angeles Gladiators and the Paris Eternal will take the stage to kick off our Saturday action. Paris looked very comfortable in their first match, and the Gladiators had an emotional loss to Seoul to start their season, but stabilized to beat the Shock on Sunday. So let's talk about the Gladiators. Who is leading this squad so far?
Well, it's always going to be short for. It doesn't really matter on the meta. Last year, he had to adapt and end up playing Widowmaker. This year, he plays all sorts of stuff. He's got Zarya, but really, I think in this matchup particularly, he'll probably be playing a little bit of Sombra. Short for Sombra, very good. He's played a lot of different heroes, but the Sombra can be so good against 3-3 because tanks are useless without abilities. Supports are useless without abilities. You can't throw orbs, you don't have aura, you don't have anything, you don't have shields, you don't have abilities. It's just awful. So EMP can win you a team fight, and then it keeps your economy in good shape too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we've seen all the last 2 weeks, right? When you faced up against a strong 3-3 team, a lot of teams favored going... I love that sign, by the way, that way, there.
There it is.
Thank you. That's hard, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Sombra against 3-3. Paris being hyped up as one, if not the best 3-3 team currently in the league. Let's see how they will be able to deal with a strong Sombra. So far, they've not been faced against any, really, in their previous matches. And on their own team, who can really run Sombra? Would it be Gray, their support player? Other than that, I can't really think of anyone else picking that hero up.
Yeah, I think Paris, generally speaking, will probably be fine if the team decides to try and run this anti-ghost, the anti-triple tank, triple support composition. Because if you can play that composition to such a high level, you understand how to play around the Sombra. You use your supports, you have them holding at odd angles so they can try and body block the Sombra when she's coming out of invisibility. You have your supports hiding when they have their ult, so they're playing around the EMP often. Paris, the team, in my mind, they do play this comp very well, up there as one of the best teams in the league. This is a game that's going to be a real test for them to see how well they do realistically against a team with quality Sombra players. So I'm excited to see how they end up playing it out.
Europeans are great with the tanks. All right, our last match of the day features two teams looking to break out. The Chengdu Hunters outlasted the Guangzhou Charge in week 1, but were shut out by the Seoul Dynasty on Thursday. The Florida Mayhem got rocked to start their season, but picked up a big win over the Fusion earlier this week. And the new roster definitely seems to be starting to gel. So let's talk about Florida. Who's the leader of this squad? Who are you guys looking at when you think Mayhem?
It's got to be BQB, hasn't it, mate? He's just insane. On the Zarya, on the Sombra, it doesn't matter what role he's playing. Korean analysts, you know, I know Wolf has been bigging up this guy for the longest time. I don't want to give him too much credit because his ego is already big enough. Huge. Like, he is a fantastic player and a real star for Florida. We're in a meta where Sire player isn't seeing as much playtime because Widowmaker's not being played as often. This was necessary. Now Florida have a player they can rally to that you know is going to be performing to a high level day in, day out.
Zoe, while everyone else has been running a Reinhardt, we see the Hunters running a Wrecking Ball. Do you think Chengdu's unconventional style can cause any problems for Florida today?
Actually, I think it's going to be the opposite, Puckett. I do think that they may even work in favor of the Florida Mayhem because of the Hunters being so unconventional when it comes to their pick. That means that the Mayhem has an opportunity to go for their comfort picks, meaning we could see a Saya Widowmaker to pick on all kinds of heroes. Pharah, they will be playing on Anubis. I'd like to see him on Tracer again. Swan, that man can go all aggressive. He is looking best in terms of his stats on that Winston. We see it with the jump pack kills. We see it with those eliminations per Primal Rage. He is more comfortable playing that aggressive Winston, and that could work really well here. One
of the questions I have for Florida going into this is Chris has been so good playing against 3-3 and in 3-3, but Lucio's style is vastly different when you're going to play a team like Chengdu, who's all over the place, all spread out. You have to avoid Widow sightlines. You're not just feeding your team in and then knocking the Reinhardt out of position. It's not just those kind of plays. He's very good, very talented, but we're going to have to see a different style of Lucio play against the strange style that Chengdu does play.
All right, well, several teams in the league are trying to build some chemistry, but one squad that definitely already has it is Vancouver. When we come back, we'll show you how the Titans' long path to the Overwatch League wasn't easy, but was definitely worth it. It's the Watchpoint pre-show.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
We've had a great week 2 so far, but these fans in the Blizzard Arena want more. We're just about 15 minutes away from the main stage action. Later on today, we'll see one of our 8 expansion teams, the Vancouver Titans. And while it's only their second match in the Overwatch League, for Vancouver, the players on this team, it's another step on what's already been a long, hard road.
Welcome them to the stage, the Vancouver Titans!
This is a squad that has seen so much hardship, 6 seasons of Korean Overwatch.
제가 전 팀인 런어웨이에서 활동했을 때 우승을 계속 못하고 준우승을 많이 한 게 제일 힘들었어요.
안 될 것 같다 약간 그런 것 때문에 그때가 제일 힘들었던 것 같아요.
Finally, they've got one title with the Korea Championship for Season 2 of Contenders.
저희가 우승했을 때 소감은 진짜 말을 못할 정도로 엄청 기뻤고
다 같이 뭔가 울컥한 분위기고 눈물이 나오고 진짜 그동안에 힘들었던 걸 다 보상받는 느낌이었어요. 컨텐더 시즌2 우승을 하고 수많은 제의가 왔어요. 제일 적합한 밴쿠버 타이탄으로 오게 되었어요.
There's a lot riding on this. Now can they repeat it here in Overwatch League? That's the question.
저는 이 경험들이 오버워치 리그에서 좋은 역할을 할 거라 생각합니다.
준우승을 많이 해서 그 팀의 성장이 굉장히 많이 된 거라고 생각해요. 왜냐 대회 경험이 계속 쌓이는 거니까 더 큰 대회 경험이.
Bumper sinking in from the back. The shatter comes down. Good night.
저는 자격이 있다고 생각합니다. 왜냐하면 다른 팀들이랑 해봤을 때 우리가 리그에 가도 잘할 수 있겠다.
Flanking from behind the Deadeye coming down.
다른 팀들이 멘탈을 좀 강화했으면 좋겠어요. 저희한테 다 4대0으로 질 거니까.
저희 타이탄즈는 일단 굉장히 유쾌하고 재밌고 절대 실망을 안겨드리지 않는 실력 그런 게 있기 때문에 기대하셔도 좋을 것 같아요.
They've built so much synergy over the last few years, and now finally they're starting a new chapter here in the Overwatch League.
That piece was so sick. Bumper is leading the way for the Titans so far this season. His all-important Reinhardt is first or second in almost all major categories. We'll see if Guangzhou can take down Bumper and the Titans later on today. We're not even 2 weeks into the 2019 Overwatch League season, and some teams are already looking to sell off some valuable pieces. That's why we have the Watchpoint online marketplace. And our analysts found some ads that already caught their eye. So, Zoe, which ad caught your attention?
Yeah, I think the first one appeared to be from the London Spitfire. They have one used bird ring for sale.
Oh.
When it works, it's a MVP level damage dealer. Previously, unfortunately, been recalled because he only works 50% of the time.
Ouch!
We're just asking for one great Zarya in turn. Yeah, I know it's rough, but jokes aside, I didn't put him on the marketplace, okay, that wasn't my ad. But jokes aside, we are worried about Birdring Zarya. He's not really found his footing on that hero. He's not found his footing in his meta, and where he had some absolute sick MVP performances in the previous season, he is a very emotional player. His highs are very high and his lows are unfortunately very low, and that is causing a lot of issues right now.
Just let the man snipe.
Yeah, if you guys thought that was bad in the arena, wait till you get a load of this.
Ouch.
I got the San Francisco Shock, all of our English speakers for sale. Super talented. Croons like Sinatra was a gift for my baby babe, but I met someone else. Make us an offer. Buy now. Do actually have some reasoning behind this, not just being mean for the entire English squad. These guys are a 12-man roster on the San Francisco Shock. It's been looking like they've been trying to transition to a Korean roster for quite some time now. I don't think they've got all the pieces there. But the fact is, this entire English squad, or the English-speaking side of this squad, is so talented, they could honestly be a separate team in the Overwatch League itself. It's actually astounding how much talent the San Francisco Shock have gotten on their team. So, I mean, do they really want to let them go? You know, who knows?
I can't believe I'm going to be the positive one on here, because let's make a spin on this. I found this ad from the Florida Mayhem here, and they are ready to sell off the used team struggle bus. It was once driven by Tavik. He used to have to drive the team to work every day. It used to smell like disappointment. Now refurbished, asking for one stage playoff berth or best offer. Look, This is an organizational thing. From the top down, they have made changes and improvements. There's Tavik driving this squad to the arena. That looks like hellacious Los Angeles weather. You're sliding all over that freeway, by the way. From the top down, they've made improvements in the organization. The team's getting more support. The roster's been overhauled, and I think the performance last week is an indication of the Florida squad we're going to see. It is time to get off the bus. We're selling the struggle bus for Florida Mayhem.
Florida is undefeated in their last one match. It's been very impressive. Okay, we'll see if any of those items get any bites from the rest of the league. But coming up a little bit later, Short 4 and Soon were once crosstown rivals last season. Now Soon's new Paris squad is about to do battle with Short 4's Gladiators. It's coming up. This is Watchpoint. Blizzard Arena, make some noise because your Gladiators are taking the main stage. The LA fans on their feet for their favorite hometown crew. Will they be able to pull off a big win? Because they're going up against the former Valiant member Soon and his new squad, the Paris Eternal. Big match to kick off the day. You know the Europeans ready to represent once again. It's time though for our predictions, and you can see Hex is taking the Gladiators while Brent and Zoe like Paris in our first match. All three analysts like Philly over Dallas and Florida over Chengdu, but Hex is on his own here with Guangzhou over Vancouver. So today's face-off, it's our first one here between you two. Brenji Hexagrams, we're going Gladiators for Hex, Paris for Bren. Fight.
Are we really going to be listening to the bloke who literally just predicted Guangzhou against the Vancouver Titans?
Yes.
I don't think so.
The guy who said Houston wouldn't win a match the whole season yesterday.
Thank you for the applause. I'm not even going to let you speak, darling. don't just move over there, please. Paris Eternal, this is a team that can play the triple tank, triple support to such a high level, and you think the Gladiators are going to be taking it?
See, the mistake you're making is you're talking about Overwatch. You're talking about That's not even a good one. I'm a man of the people. I know where my bread is buttered, and I'm in the Los Angeles arena. Of course I'm going to pick the Gladiators. You're safe down here at the desk. I'm in the caster's nest. I fear for my life. That's why I'm taking the Gladiators.
So you're the European in America right now. Where are you going, Paris or LA today?
This is a tough one. I do want to go back to Paris again, so I'm going to pick the Paris squad.
Blizzard Arena, let us know who you got in this first one. It's going to be Gladiators Eternal coming up. This is Watchpoint. We'll see you for the post show a little bit later.